Welcome back tuning into today's video where we're going to be doing the second Winter 13-14 season model roundup today. You're going to get all the season models together, see what they're showing for the winter of 2013-2014. We've got a lot of them to get through, so I'm very quick going to get on with all my announcements. So first of all, I want to say about the advertising. There's video ads on my page at GazWebBiz.com. If you hit play on the video ad, you'll be supporting GazWebBiz.com. Thanks so much for doing that. I know you have been playing, and you do play those video ads. Keep playing them. You'll be supporting GazWebBiz.com. They should be ever changing, so you shouldn't be stuck with the same one over and over again. There should be new video ads appearing every day, and keep playing them. You'll be supporting GazWebBiz.com by doing that. Also, want to mention the fact that, as you can tell, I've got a cough, and I may have to stop and have a drink of water during this video. The cough's been going on and on for weeks. I'm not ill with it, it's just very annoying. Hopefully it's going to clear up soon. I'll be glad to get rid of it, to be honest. And what else have I got to say? I've got to say that most of the websites most of the charts on this, you can find the links to websites from my links page. And the only other thing to say really is enjoy the video. I'm going to be posting this on my seasonal page, or the link to it on my seasonal page, so you'll be able to come back and watch this video whenever you want. It's going to be a long video, so if you can't see it all in one sitting, it will be around GazWebBiz.com for the next few weeks, months, and probably years as well. So you can come back and view the video whenever you want, and just say thanks very much for your ongoing support of GazWebBiz and my videos, and do please enjoy the video. So let's start off with the Russian model. We're going to start off with the first couple of models that are just broken down from November to January. We can't go through the full winter period, December to February, with these first two models. So this is the Russian model for November to January. This is seasonal probabilities in terms of the temperatures through that period from November to January. And what's quite very apparent with this is that the British Isles is forecast or predicted by the Russian model to have a warmer than normal winter. There is the British Isles just there. Most of the country in those orange colours. So a mild winter, or a mild November to January anyway, is being predicted by the Russian model this month. If we have a look at the probability for precipitation, rainfall for November to January, we see that we're in the blue colours there, so below average precipitation being predicted for most of the country. High pressure is forecast to be dominating, and I think you can see from that quite clearly what's happening and why it's going for a mild winter. We've got a big area of high pressure sitting down to the southwest of the country, below average rainfall down there. So it's seeing high pressure to be extending in off the Atlantic in central and southern parts of Europe, and low pressure up here to the north, and near normal precipitation around Iceland. So it's very much seeing a westerly sort of winter with high pressure to the south, low pressure to the north. That would be quite mild. So a mild winter and quite dry in the south at least is a prediction from the Russian model this month. Next model we want to look at is the JMA. This is from Japan. These are 500 millibar heights broken down into month periods. Again, we've only got the period from November to January to go at here. This is the British Isles just here. We're upside down. But for November, it's going for an area of above average height sitting around the British Isles. Notice this area of high pressure building up to the northeast. We have got some high pressure in western Russia trying to extend into Scandinavia. But really, it's an unsettled month being predicted by the Japanese model for November, with low pressure really quite dominant at 500 millibars. If that's right, we're not looking at a particularly cold month, but we're looking at really quite an unsettled and wet month. Now, as we go out to the second month, which is December, then we see the heights are coming up. We're near normal in terms of heights for the British Isles, in those cream colours just there. We're losing the trough down to the south and over towards the western parts of Russia, where we have the ridge across western Russia in November. We actually replace it with a trough, a cold trough, in December. Now, let's clear that and have a look at this. This is this yellow area just here is indicating an area of above average height sitting just to the northeast of the country over Scandinavia through December. So with this trough down here to the south of the country, I think the jet stream is running to the south, rather cold side of the jet, and with that ridge of high pressure over Scandinavia, we could be getting quite cold. Actually, we could be getting some quite cold easterly winds feeding in. And then finally going through to January, which is the final monthly period from the JMA model, where we're seeing below average heights then sitting to the south of the country, quite a deep trough sitting to the south of the British Isles. There's not a lot of sign of blocking, so I'm not sure what's sending that trough down to the south, but we have got some above average area of heights sitting to the northeast. Once again, not strongly, but certainly the suggestion that something is going on there. Also, much of the states having a cold winter over here. This trough here is for the north and the east United States. So I think the idea is that we're definitely seeing a southerly tracking jet stream coming through from the United States into Europe. Now, we're on the cold side of the jet stream, so this is a cold trough sitting to the south of the British Isles. That's probably one of those charts from the JMA model where both sides of the Atlantic are cold together. Eastern America and central western parts of Europe are cold with that, I think. Although, again, the blocking doesn't appear to be particularly strong here, so I'm not sure what's driving all of these southerly tracking jet streams and these troughs. But certainly interesting trends there from the JMA. But remember, that is for November to January, as opposed to December, January, February. We'll get the full winter update from the JMA model next month. Now, the next model I want to look at is the Brazilian model. So we're going around the world here. We've been to Russia, we've been to Japan, now we're going to Brazil. These, again, are 500 millibar heights. This is an anomaly at 500 millibars for December to February. So this is for the full winter period. What's going on here is that we've got an area of above average height sitting in the Atlantic, in the northern Atlantic, just there. A little bit different with this 500 millibar height chart. When we were just looking at, blue was below average heights, low pressure, and yellow-orange was above average heights, high pressure. This is different. These blue colours here are high pressure, above average heights. The yellow colours are below average heights, so low pressure. So what the model is seeing, although the signal is quite weak, is that we've got an area of above average heights, high pressure in the Atlantic, and we've got a trough around the British Isles. So the jet stream is going something like this around that ridge in the Atlantic, and then it's coming southwards into Europe. So we're on the cold side of the jet again, I think, with that, and then the jet is rising up again around this next area of high pressure, but sitting across southeastern parts of Europe. That's potentially quite a cold scenario, but with the high pressure not particularly hooking up to any northern blocking, we would get westerlies coming through at times with that. We would see some westerly winds, but nevertheless we would also, with that trough sitting around the country, be seeing northerly winds and maybe even northeasterly winds at times as well. So a proper mixed sort of winter that from the Brazilian model, but by no means a very mild winter. I think we would get some pretty potent cold snaps at times, at the very least, from that sort of pattern. And of course, if this area of high pressure was to start hooking up strongly to blocking to the north, we can't really see the northern latitudes here, but if it was to extend a ridge up towards Greenland much more strongly than this is suggesting, then we could really settle into a very cold pattern with this trough around the British Isles. Next model we're looking at is our own, the UK Met Office. This what we're looking at first of all is sea level pressure, the sea level pressure anomaly for the winter. And it's very similar actually to the JMA. We've got the above average height sitting in the Atlantic, just there indicated by the orange colours. That's where we've got the high pressure. We've got low pressure sitting to the north and the northeast of the British Isles. So again, what the jet stream is doing with that, it's coming around that area of high pressure in the Atlantic, and then it's coming through the British Isles, probably something like that. So that isn't quite as good cold signal from the UK Met. So actually that's quite a zonal sort of signal. We've got a lot of low pressure going on up to the north, so that's quite a westerly sort of signal from UK Met Office this month. Although, again, there would be the potential for some cold snaps with the position of that high pressure. It's not sort of extending as we saw from the Russian model. It's not extending through from the Azores in towards Spain, Portugal, and on into France, but as the Russian model was seeing, it's more centred in the mid-Atlantic. So no doubt with that, we would open the floodgates at times to cold snaps, particularly from the north, but I don't think that's a tremendously cold block sort of signal. There's not much northern blocking going on to the north of the country. So, excuse me, the temperatures that it's seeing for the winter, for December, January, February, are coming out around or just a little bit above average in those cream colours. Notice all the red going on to the north. I'm not sure why that's happening. That red, above average temperatures, well above average temperatures, but red actually is 2 degrees above average across the northern latitudes, would suggest, I would have thought, northern blocking. But as we saw from the height anomaly charts, not really a lot of northern blocking to be seen. So, or the sea level pressure anomaly chart, not really a lot of northern blocking to be seen. So I'm not sure where all that where all those above average temperatures are coming from, to be honest. But nevertheless, for us, it's going for near normal to slightly above average temperatures. That's about right in a westerly winter with quite a number of cold snaps. And in terms of rainfall, it's going for average to maybe slightly above average. Could be a wettish sort of winter. And again, that's probably what you would expect with a lot of westerly winds and times some cold snap coming through. But not a particularly cold winter being signalled there from the UK Met Office. CFS next, let's go to the United States. These are the 700 millibar height anomalies for the winter December to February. Blue are below average heights, yellow and orange above average heights. This is a standard sort of height anomaly, unlike what we just saw from the Brazilian model. It's going for an area of below average heights to be sitting to the north and around the British Isles, with a ridge in the mid-Atlantic again. So again, this is similar to the UK Met Office and the Brazilian model. The jet stream is doing something like that. We're just about on the cold side of the jet stream, or the cool side of the jet stream, I think, with that. And we haven't got a lot of northern blocking. We have got some yellow up here across the polar field, but to be honest, haven't got a great deal of northern blocking. So what you would expect with that probably is near normal temperatures. Certainly the chance of some colder interludes, but probably not a particularly cold winter, because the northern blocking just isn't there to push this trough of low pressure further south. So this is the temperature forecast for the winter. It's seeing a warm winter in the east across much of Scandinavia and Central Eastern Europe, in for a warm winter over there. It's seeing near normal for the west across British Isles, France and Spain. Now, with it being so warm in the east, you would suspect that this should be cold actually in the west. Normally when it's warm over here in the east, because of the way that the weather balances itself out, it will tend to be quite cold in winter, at least out in the west. So there has to be question marks about this. There always is with the CFS model. And if we go back to the height anomaly chart, if we was just to extend this blocking a little bit more to the north, then this trough would be pushed further south, and the ridge in the mid-Atlantic is very weak here. So we're not far there from a cold pattern. And again, with the warmth here being signalled in the east, I think the west you would suspect the west would be colder than that showing. For rainfall, for precipitation for the winter, it's going for, again, quite a wet winter actually in the west across Scotland, above average rainfall also across France as well. Just a suggestion that Norway has below average precipitation, and again, that's just a slight suggestion that you get some sort of high pressure up there. And with the precipitation above average through France, well, maybe the jet stream is coming through on more of a southerly track. So I think we're a bit in between really with the CFS model. Very hard to decipher what the CFS is suggesting, but I've got a feeling we're not far from a cold pattern, and we're seeing this on the daily CFS updates, that some runs are going very, very cold from the CFS model. So it wouldn't take much to push this either way. It could be a mild winter from CFS, but it could be a very, very cold winter as well, and that those below precipitation anomalies for Norway are a little bit of a signal of where things could be going. We're going to stay with the United States and have a look at the charts from Hugues van den Doel. Hugues is part of the CFS NOAA operation, but what he does, what his department does, is uses sea surface temperature anomalies to make a prediction, a long-range prediction. What we were just looking at was general sort of seasonal model predictions. These have been drawn up using analogues, using past years in terms of the sea surface temperature anomalies across the globe, and then they come up with a forecast. So quite interesting. These have been deciphered by an actual human being, I think, from Hugues himself, as opposed to what we just looked at, which comes from a model. And what Hugues is seeing for the winter, for December, January, February, is a big area of blocking over Greenland and extending to the north of Scandinavia as well. Definite signs of high pressure blocking across the northern latitudes, low pressure running through the Atlantic into central parts of Europe. The jet stream with that is definitely on a southerly track. The jet stream is going around something like that through into the Mediterranean, coming through just here. So, Hugues van den Doel's model, his analogues definitely indicating that we're going to be in for a cold winter, a lot of northern blocking at any rate. This is the same as what we saw last month. I used Hugues' charts last month, no difference in this month's update. In terms of the temperature forecast based on those analogues, those sea surface temperature anomaly analogues, well, we're looking at a cold winter there for most of Europe. All those blue colours there indicating a proper cold winter. The cold has a job to extend into the British Isles. That's because we're right at the far end of Europe. We're on the warm side of Europe next to the Atlantic Ocean. But with those height anomalies, let's go back to them. With that pattern, 500 millibars, undoubtedly we'd have a colder than average winter. In terms of precipitation forecast from Hugues, is seeing a drier than average winter across much of the British Isles to the north of the country and extending into Scandinavia as well. Hardly surprising because the jet stream is on a southerly track going through there with the above average rainfall. We're on the cold side of the jet, but it would be dry with all that northern blocking. So the analogues from NOAA, from CFS, definitely looking cold. The sea surface temperature anomaly is looking for a blocked cold winter, but in terms of the model, a little bit uncertain. Beijing Climate Centre next, we're looking at above average heights here to the north and the west of the country. This is a lot of blocking for the winter, for December to February. The orange colours indicating definite above average heights, low pressure sitting to the south of the country. It is cold. That's a cold pattern from the Beijing Climate Centre. Look how things have changed from last month's update when the 500 millimetre height anomaly showed the high pressure to be sitting to the south of the country. Now the high pressure, the above average heights, is sitting to the north and to the northwest of the country. So that is a much colder looking pattern from the Beijing Climate Centre. Unsurprisingly, the temperature forecast shows there's a lot of cold air going to the south and to the east of the country. Still looking quite warm up to the northwest, where we've got that area of blocking. But that's a much colder signal from the Beijing Climate Centre for the winter. And in terms of precipitation, it's looking at like a dry and average winter, as you would expect, with all that blocking in the Atlantic. And finally, the final model we're going to look at for the winter 13-14 seasonal model round video is the Jamstec IOD model, and that also is going for a cold winter there for British Isles and for much of Central and Western Europe as well. In terms of the precipitation, the rainfall forecast is going for a drier than average winter up to the north of the country. That's because we've got blocking going on, and over Scandinavia. Look how dry it is over Scandinavia. That's with high pressure sitting in northern latitudes. We're near normal for the precipitation, but again, you would expect a drier than average winter with all of that northern blocking. So a very mixed signal there from the models. Some of them are sort of definitely hinting at a mild winter. Some of them are hinting at a very cold winter. And it's just really an ongoing scenario, this, but we can't really pin it down this winter. It's very, very difficult to pin down, and I'm not expecting any changes next month. So I think next month's season model roundup will also show this big split between some of the season models looking cold and some of them looking mild, and in the end I'm going to have to come to a conclusion on the 1st of December when I give my winter forecast. I'm going to have to come down on either side of the fence, or maybe I'll go average, but I'm going to have to make a decision. It's going to be a hard one to call this winter. It keeps being very difficult to judge it. Well, as for seasonal model roundup video for October, hope you found it interesting. As I say, this video will be hanging around at the website for several weeks or months, maybe even years. So if you want to come back and view this video, you can whenever you want. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. It's been a long video, I know, so thanks for sticking with it. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.